Welcome back, my friends. I am Brian. You are Chords and Notes Nation. Thank you so much for joining me here today, wherever you are, whenever you are. I have a patron request from my most excellent patron, Phil. This is Polyphia. The song is Ego Death, featuring Steve Vai. I am late to the party with Polyphia, though I am not unaware of them. Certainly not unaware of Tim Henson, and most definitely not unaware of Steve Vai. This should promise to be a pretty interesting song because there's a lot of talent that will be on screen and in our ears. But this is going to be a first for me. Just getting it set up, folks. All right. Check out the description box below for more information. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's rock. That's cool. That's a cool riff. I like that slide in there. I normally don't do this, and I apologize, folks, but that's not the kind of guitar playing that I'm used to, that I grew up with, or the kind of guitar playing that I play. So it's different for my ears. It sounds like there's a lot of percussiveness going on in here, and certainly I'm watching his fingers, and there's a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs involved with that. So the timing of it all between both hands has to be just right. It has to be exact in order to get that sound. And it is such a weird, different sound for me. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit. A lot of percussive elements. That's what that is. That's like slap pop funk bass playing. Sorry, I'm breaking all my rules listening to this, talking over it and stopping it, but I'm sorry, I'm just kind of really, I got things to say. Yeah, that's definitely like that slap pop funk bass playing. I've only seen one other guitar player in my life play like that. I'll talk about that afterwards. But I think it's really cool, and it's just like a really spicy percussion behind it too. What he's doing on the drums. What's this? Yeah, wow. This just blew my mind. There's just so much to digest in this song, and it's what only yeah, just under 6 minutes long. Okay, so what was really cool is that you had a lot of different movements in this song. You had a lot of different sections that had a little, well, they had different flavors to them. But when you do that, they did what you probably should do, so you don't lose your audience. You let your audience know what is going to be coming. Okay, so you're going to create a riff, a melody that here became a theme throughout each of the different sections with variations, which is cool because that's sort of like a music. Um, classical music compositions are like that, right? You work on themes and variations of themes. And they did that. They took those principles because that's sound principles. You're creating something that you want to hold the audience attention. So you have to have a hook, and oftentimes it's going to come in the form of maybe a riff or a melodic line. That if you are making a composition like this that has different textures and different flavors and different sections, you need to have some sort of connective tissue. And unless you're Rush, that can do whatever they want and it sounds great, then you have to play by the rules. I'm kidding. These guys certainly have expanded their rules. Uh, Such virtuosos. And I was thinking about that when Steve Vai took the stage, so to speak. You know, here's someone who was really innovative, is innovative with his playing and his sounds, especially back in the 80s when he was really coming onto the scene. But he was also connected with like Frank Zappa, right? Who was also an innovator. So somebody who, when you have musicians who are unafraid to explore musical sounds, unafraid to use them in a composition and just put it out there for people to sit back and either love or hate. Um, that's pretty special because you have to be, first of all, you have to be resilient. You have to be fearless. You have to understand that you're going to take a lot of love or you're going to take a lot of hate. You're going to take a lot of both. So you have to not be moved by the negative and just sort of focus on the positive. But you also have to be master musicians in order to be able to make those sounds that you really want to make. Yes, this was a music video, so there were probably some editing and whatnot going on, but I'm sure they've played this live and or their other music sounds as technically complex as this one did. And that type of musicianship should not be sneezed over. Okay, that's a serious thing. These are people who know their instruments, and when you know your instrument to a certain level of mastery, or anything to a certain level of mastery, your confidence level of trying new things is through the roof, right? So you are a little bit more fearless when it comes to that. But within that, there has to be a certain amount of failure because without failure, you can't have success. So the right mindset builds the right um, habits, builds the right conditions to be successful. And here you have a composition that's sounds like this innovative fusion. There was the guitar part really did sound like the slap funk bass playing. That's what that was. I was trying to identify that at first, and then it dawned on me. And not that that is truly an innovation that hasn't been done before, because I've seen it done before, and I'm sure there's others who have seen it beyond or done it beyond who I've seen. I don't know the name of the guitar player, but I went to a concert, I Mother Earth, when they were, I think that was like the early to mid 90s. I had a friend who was into them and said, "Hey, they're coming to the rave in Milwaukee. Let's go check them out." And we did. And I was right there at the stage, front row basically. Um, and I'm just standing in front of the guitar player watching him play, and that's how he was playing. No pick, and he was doing a lot of slap pop type playing. Different style of sound, I Mother Earth, but that's where I recognized those techniques. And that's not easy because those guitar strings are closer together and they're thinner than bass guitar strings are. So you have to be really accurate with that. Not have fat fingers like me. Um, Tim Henson and I don't know who the other guitar player in their band is. They look like they had more slender fingers, but you can still. I mean, the amount of distance between guitar strings is minuscule. You know, it's less than a finger length. So you have to be right on with what you're doing. Um, it's not an easy instrument to play. Everybody loves it. Probably there's one in every house, but to be able to really master it, that's a whole different thing. Ego Death, that's kind of an interesting title for the song because I think it took a lot of egos to put this together, and especially when Mr. Steve Vai is involved. Okay. I'm not saying it in a negative way, but the guy's got an ego, right? When he takes the stage, it's him. It's all about him, and not so much in this one. So it might have been a little appropriate there, but it was interesting how the composition changed. The tone of the composition changed and became more subtle and more, I don't know the right word that I want to use, but I knew then we're about to hear Steve Vai because the whole vibe and the whole atmosphere started to become Vai-esque. Even before he was in the camera shot, even before he started playing, it was like, okay, this is where he's coming in. And you can totally get that in the music. So yeah, this was a really cool experience. This won't be my last experience watching Polyphia, but you have to take that amount of talent and slowly digest it sometimes. I mean, maybe if I was 30 years younger, I'd just be diving into this and being, gorging myself on their music. But it's like, okay, things are a little different the older you get, and you sort of have to process through things a little bit slower, just to get the full appreciation for what you've been just experienced. But anyways, well, Phil, thanks for bringing this to my attention. I appreciate it. Guys, if you want to become a patron just like Phil, there's plenty of things going on over on Patreon, plenty of perks. It's very, very, very affordable. And as I'm launching my product line stores on Etsy and Printify, and I have Teespring, so you can check that out on my channel in the About section tab. When I launch my Etsy store, that's going to be probably up there too. But anyways, my patrons are going to get discounts. So that's another thing to keep in mind. That being said, thanks guys. I appreciate you. God bless you. Jesus loves you. And I will talk to you in the next video.